Hi everybody, it's Robin here at Toadstool Tarot. Welcome to my channel. If you haven't been here before, if you have, welcome back. I'm bringing to you today the Seventh Sphere Marseille Tarot deck. Now, I am a Rider-Waite-Smith fan, but never say never. I'm taking the training wheels off my bicycle and I've decided to finally delve into Marseille decks because I finally found one that I really love the look of. Seventh Sphere is by Labyrinthos, and they have a website, www.labyrinthos.co. Not .com. I tried that and it didn't go anywhere. I'm not sure what the .co means. Company? Is that a new thing? A new extension? I don't think I've run across it before. Anyway, this comes in a beautiful sort of pale pastel turquoise blue box with gold embellishments. There's a couple of skulls on there, just in time for Halloween. And growing things, leaves and butterflies. It's really very pretty. And a couple of cards pictured on the back. And this is one of those wonderful magnetic boxes. I really love these, but I don't have any this small, just the enormous kits. And I think my Everyday Witch came in a magnetic box. I think. I didn't save it because it was a big box. I discarded it. That was before I had a channel. And I have the book, the guidebook, on my bookshelf pile of books. My extra bookshelf by the bed. And the deck is in a tin now. Anyway, onto this deck. The inside of the box is very pretty. There's a little quoted thing which looks to me like it might be slightly misprinted on an angle, but you know, if you're not a perfectionist, you won't mind that. I am a perfectionist, but I still don't mind it so much. It doesn't have that much to do with the deck. But there's a little quote in here. It says, what heaven dreams, the earth brings forth. You blaze in the sun, glimmer in the stars, and dance in the rhythm of creation. Does that have you dancing in the rhythm of creation? Download app at labyrinthos.co. Oh yeah, there's no booklet, no guide booklet with this deck. And I really need it because I don't do Marseille. So if any of you can recommend a really good Marseille book that is more than just, you know, a paragraph or keywords on each card, but not so technical that I'm slogging through a textbook, please include it in the comments below if it's something that you recommend. An easy and entertaining and fascinating book for Marseille as an intro to Marseille. I would really like that. These cards are very, very flimsy, very thin. However, they are plastic cards, and I assume by that waterproof and not easily creasable. So they'd probably be really good for riffle shuffling, which I don't do. I do overhand, but they're good for that too. They're pretty slippy, but they're not glossy. They're a really nice kind of matte feel. And the coloring in the deck is nice. It's pinks and blues and pastel. Now, I'm not a pink or blue person, but these are more like salmon and turquoise, which I like. I like those tones. And it's very, what's the word? Well, pastel, I guess. They also have gold ornamentation. And the reason I picked this deck is because it's kind of minimal. I mean, the images have a lot of flat, plain coloring, so you get sort of a silhouette of a figure and just a few details like the eyes, nose, and mouth, but the body, and I mean, it's just kind of filled in solid color like a silhouette, which I like. I love the minimal quality of this, the outline shapes. And the images are perfectly evocative and beautiful. But the funny thing about this deck, I think they were really trying to play with gender, with the pink and blue thing, pink for a boy. I mean, the Freudian slip, pink for a girl, blue for a boy. They kind of turned that on its head in this deck a little bit. Let me start. This is the Fool card. Go over here. That's the Fool. And these are embellished, a lot of them, with these little gold details, which I could do without. I'm not sure why they did it, and I don't know that I need it. I saw another flip through where they did this with every card, and I thought, oh, that's really annoying. So now that you've got the idea that the titles are in gold and there's a little symbol on there, and occasionally there are little stars or crosses or whatever in gold, I won't be doing this jimmying around. On the back of the card you have this double, I don't know what you call this kind of sacred geometrical star, 1, 2, 3, 4, 7-pointed star. There must be a special name for that. Anyway, that is the Fool, which is possibly a woman in this deck. The Magician looks to me to be a woman. So you see they flipped the roles on a lot of the cards in this deck from what we're used to. I'll flip this over because I guess these cards are actually not quite reversible because of the 7-pointed star on the back, but High Priestess, Empress, Emperor. And a lot of these images too, people talk about non-inclusive decks. A lot of these are like purple people. So you have like pink and blue sometimes on the verge of black or purple, or I don't know what shade it is. See his key there. Now the Lovers, here's a twist, appears to be a biracial gay couple, which I find a refreshing change from what we're used to. And our charioteer is a young lady. I like that too. Justice has a blindfold. Justice is blind, but she's got a third eye. Really nice Hermit. Don't you love the simplicity in this deck? Wheel of Fortune, very nice Wheel of Fortune. Looks like the zodiac symbols are on the wheel. If you can't make that out. Strength. It's sort of a very soft strength card. Compassionate. The Hangman, a little strange, looks sort of like a naked man in bondage, but he's not forced to be there. Look at his hands, he could easily get out of that. Not sure what the snake means around his leg, but to think on that. This is one of the darkest cards in the deck. There is, I guess that's black or a very, very, very dark blue or purple. Like I said, the deck is pretty much limited to this pink and blue palette, which I really like. It's Temperance, the Devil, which looks to be like the couple we've had in the Lovers before. The Tower. I love, even there's a lot of gradation in these, but I still love the simple, flat, plain quality in the images. I love the way the water flows in this Star card. Sometimes I get Star and Temperance mixed up. Moon, and I never quite got the crayfish lobster on the Moon card. This one has Cancer the crab, which makes a lot more sense to me. The Sun, with a bird flying up to the sun, reminds me of the tale of Icarus. Judgment, with the moth and skull, and there's a kind of a planetary thing going on in here too, which I don't know what that's all about. This is called the Seventh Sphere Tarot, so I'll have to find out more about that. Oh, what I was going to say earlier when I mentioned the website, you're supposed to be able, because there's no guidebook, to go to the website and download an app or some kind of guide. But for some reason, that part of the website is inoperable at the moment, so or under reconstruction or something. So I don't know what's happening. Oh, that was the World card. This deck has 2 extra cards. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with them. This one's called the Return, and then this one, the Tree of Life. They're both beautiful cards. I'm just not sure how to use them in the deck. I mean, they're not part of the Marseille as far as I know. Now onto the pips, which usually put people off, but these are beautiful. And when you get to the swords, I think you'll see why I chose this deck. It was because of the look of the swords. I can go through these quicker because, of course, in the pips there's not much going on there to you need to really check out. They're just beautiful, beautiful palette. I mean, beautiful pastel palette, and very simply laid out. The design aspect is just gorgeous, I think. The pages are female. The knights are male. The queens look very modern. A lot of the women in this deck look modern. The men look a little older. I guess they could be yuppies though, or whatever. They have beards and what's the word I'm looking for? It's not yuppies. Centennials. Millennials. That's what I'm. Here's the cups. So yeah, the kings kind of look like hip millennials. Aren't these pretty? They're so unlike a lot of the, this one almost makes me want to turn it over. No, but I guess because of the direction on the back, I suppose it's meant to be that way, and that's the direction they were in the box. What was I saying? Oh, the Marseille decks, most people are used to have these really bold, bright colors, like primary colors, and limited to 2 or 3 colors because of the original history of the way they were printed. So I find this refreshing that these are almost kind of ghostly, sort of washed out pastel tones. This really appeals to me a lot. It's a much gentler approach to Marseille as opposed to hitting you over the head with hard edge, bold, dark colors. Here it is. Are you ready for it? Now, is that one of the most beautiful sword cards you've ever seen? I just love it. These blues are almost gray. They're somewhere between purple and gray. So now I'm excited and anxious to start studying Marseille, and my understanding is that there's a lot more having to do with numerology in it. In case you hadn't noticed, they also have symbols in the corners for the number. I mean, you don't really need it. If you count the swords, they're very clear to count how many. But if you don't want to spend the time, you can read the numbers in the corners. Page. I'm not sure why the page has 2 swords. Must be something to that. Knight. Queen. King. And then again, beautiful pentacles with a, I was going to say a fish underneath. My lighting's so horrible in here. It's a hand. Almost looks like it could be a fish or a dove. It's much clearer, you know, in person than my camera's picking up on my laptop. But the coloring of these is pretty accurate. So, viewers, welcome me to the wonderful world of Marseille. And this might just be the deck to turn you to, all of you Thoth or RWS diehard fans. Maybe this will win you over. It's also my first plastic card deck. I don't mind the plastic so much. Oh, they are nice to shuffle. Oops. They're pretty darn flexible. They almost flex right out of your hands when you shuffle. So, anyway, I'm celebrating that. This is my birthday weekend, so this is my gift to myself. And since it's my birthday weekend, And I'm dealing in pinks and blues with this deck. I'm also treating myself to birthday cake cotton candy. So this is my own kind of unwrapping. And here's to you and to me on my birthday. See you soon. Bye-bye.